Okay. Our second speaker will be Professor Dr. Mercy O. Ogbe from Nigeria. A self-motivated, experienced educationist, industrialist, as well as critical, creative, and reflective thinker and developer, an excellent communicator and motivator. And she will be sharing with us on overcoming challenges in business using critical and creative thinking skills, part 1. Right, we want to now say more about our professor. Professor Dr. Mercy O. Ogbe has a PhD, MED, EED degrees from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and she is an accomplished, self-motivated, experienced educationist for 49 years running, entrepreneur of 43 years, educational and higher thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, decision-making consultants of 16 years in practice. Professor Mercy Ogbe also had an intensive training by Center for Critical Thinking and Moral Critics, Sonoma State University in California, USA. Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe is the CEO of Thinker Skills Limited, a training firm for higher thinking skills development and educational consult for 15 years operating. She is the founder and president general of Center for Critical and Creative Thinking Development in Africa, CCCTDA, an NGO of 11 years now. She is also a dynamic and passionate presenter in seminars, workshops, and conferences with great passion to cultivate and foster skills and standards in the minds of children, youth, and adults. Dr. Ogbe is an astute, skillful, impactful, transformational trainer and developed with solution mindset in critical thinking and creative thinking, decision-making, and problem-solving skills. He's the proprietor of Young Thinkers and Researchers Club, Y.Y.C. She is the chairman and managing director of Denny Products and Investment Limited, proprietor of a nursery, elementary, and secondary school of 38 years in operation. Professor Mercy Ogbe is an outstanding personality, a great philanthropy, empowering orphans and the less privileged. She runs a scholarship award for orphans and all pastors' children who have their education at Victory School of Science and Creativity from 1990 till date. Founder, Lady of Vision International, LOVI, formerly known as YUGLOMI, that trains young ladies to become future idea homemaker, virtuous, chaste, self-confident, God-fearing, patriotic, and to restore the dignity of womanhood within and outside the country. Professor Mercy is an award winner, award such as Pillar of Nation Building Award, the Distinguished Nigerian Woman of Merit Award, Award of Excellence in Professionalism by Institute of Women and Natural Resources. She is also the National Association of Proprietors of Private School and Meritorious Awards at Mary House, Abuja, the Institute of Registered Administrative Manager of Nigeria, and many, many, many more. Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe has made 12 publications in books and journal including engaging higher order thinking skills in special needs education. Honor of Professor Emeka Ozide, Volume 2, and Teacher Content as a System of Thinking, West Africa Education Conference. 75 hints to improve your critical thinking practices and creative mental cognitive learning environment, issues and challenges, and many, many more books. Her research includes effects of critical thinking, electric instructional approach on secondary school students' critical thinking skills in Delta State, Nigeria, and many more. So, join me in welcoming Professor, Dr. Ambassador Mercy Ogbe to share her wealth of knowledge. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my Prof. Thank you for the opportunity to share on your platform. And I wish to express my gratitude to everyone who thinks we are doing something good on this platform and spares the time to listen to what we have to say. Knowledge is like the water of the ocean. Any angle you go to the ocean, you get the water to use for what you want to use it for. So what we are saying may not be new. And even as I've been sitting here listening to the last speaker and the moderator, I can see that a lot of the things I intended saying have been said. So, but it's never too much until we are seen to have listened and we are performing accordingly. Fortunately, my laptop Zoom refused to work. So I'm using my Android phone for this presentation. So I may not be facing the camera as I ought to, because I still have to read or work from my laptop, my own presentation list. So I'm going to present today's paper. You have already heard my name, and thank you again, Professor Lucas, for the wonderful things you said about me. God bless you. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Somebody's music is on right now. I'm still learning, and I will keep learning, even on this platform. My name again is Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe, and I'm presenting a topic stating overcoming challenges in businesses using critical and creative thinking skills, part 1. Tomorrow is going to be another day for the part 2. So I hope you will be motivated today to listen and then still be around tomorrow to listen to the final aspect of it, if it will actually finish tomorrow. When we talk of overcoming challenges in business, the first thing any person we want to ask is, what is business? And we use this word business so many times in a day. So what is business? Business is the practice. Business is the practice of making one's living or making money by producing something, by putting your skills to use in exchange for money, and for selling those same skills or products. So it is a practice. Actually, business is a practice that you engage in in order for you to live well, in order to have some economic powers, in order for you to have a good living. It might be big, it might be small, but whether big or small, it is called business. And you are able to produce or to sell your services or your goods. So you sell your goods and your services. It is any activity or enterprise entered into for profit. That is what we call business. And it is a kind of trading that involves the transfer of goods and services from one person to another person or entity to another entity, often for the exchange for money. It could be your talent, it could be your skill, it could be what you have learned from conferences or anything you are able to give out to people in exchange for money. So business refers to an organization or enterprising entity engaged in commercial, industrial, or professional activities. And you see, there is a term we also use in when we are talking of business, and that is the marketplace. The marketplace is a network of businesses that allows trade in a particular environment or in a particular setting or platform. And that is called market. That is where related things are sold or are exchanged for money, whether goods or services. That could be a phrase of what we call market. The primary purpose of a business is to organize economic production of goods or services. So now let us see what other things we can get from business. Because before we start talking of challenges, you must understand what we are talking about. So when you get it, when you are clear about it, by the time you begin to talk about the challenges, you will be able to reflect back to what you have done before to say, oh, so this is it, and this is why I either failed or I succeeded. In my own life too, when I started, I failed several times in businesses because there was no one to mentor me. There was no broad internet like this to read and educate oneself. So I rose and fell. I tried and failed. But today, one has to learn in order to stand. So, in fact, businesses has its own up and downs. It has its own up and downs. But we must learn to rise and to stay rising. So what are the types of businesses? We have different types of businesses, and majorly there are two types. We have for-profit businesses, and these businesses operate with the goal of making a profit. We also have non-profit organizations, and these entities or businesses focus on advancing or carrying on businesses of a specific cause without aiming for profit. Their goal is not to aim for profit, but to reach out to life, to impact life, to bring transformation, just like Y.Y.C.I is doing under the proprietorship of Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. Yes, Y.Y.C.I is doing a non-profit business to train lives, to transform lives, and change mindset. The country needs to move. Things need to be better. So she's into that. I am also into that too, in running Center for Critical and Creative Thinking Development in Africa. We do what we are doing there, especially empowering schools with the right kind of skills and the 21st century skills that can help schools to build powerful, meaningful, and active curriculum, especially in Africa and other neighboring continents. So these are non-profit organizations, but the profit ones are the ones you engage in, and they pay you your money in your currency in your locality, and you live by it, you feed by it, and live well by that profit. So basically, there are two. Now, in business, there are activities. There are activities. So businesses engage in various activities, such as selling and purchasing goods and services. They may produce physical products like clothing, office equipment, phones, shoes, and so on. Everything that you know you buy. Anything around you is a product of somebody. It's a product of somebody. Anything around you. The clothes you are putting on, they are product of somebody. For those of us who use the attachment or wig, that is a product of somebody. The shoe you are putting on is a product of somebody. Even the things you go to the market to buy, they are either products or they are services. So you see, we depend on each other to run businesses. Nobody can say, I have all the knowledge about business, only me can do business. That is why the question that man for Pakistan asked, and thank God our Queen Mother was able to answer it very effectively to explain it. There's nowhere there are no challenges in business. There are no discouragement in business, because business is like the survival of the fittest. You are selling the same thing like others, and so they want to survive. You want to survive. So long as everybody wants to survive, the tendency for crisis, the tendency for jealousies, petty jealousies, and the likelihood of even engaging in a negative language just to bring down the other person, they are all there. So we are all in business in one way or the other. Nobody is out of it. So we can produce products like phones that we use, or offer intangible services such as transportation services or consulting. A lot of services we render, we take and we give out. Services are a type of business where the seller offers intangible goods to other businesses or consumers. For example, home tutoring. That is a service. Even teaching is a service. Generally, in the schools, teachers are engaged in that service. So businesses offer intangible goods or services and typically charge for labor or other services provided either to government, to consumers, and to even your own self. Sometimes you take out of what goods or services you are providing for yourself. So we all do these things, and it's a natural phenomenon that makes the human race to move on. The next thing I want to say is business has planning process. It needs planning for it to be stable. So before starting operations, businesses often create a formal business plan. They outline goals, strategies, and objectives. Business plans are crucial when seeking capital or loans to launch out operations. Not only capital or loans, they are crucial. Business plans are very crucial for a business to take off and be stable. The fourth one is that there are legal considerations. You need to understand these things so that when we are talking about the challenges, you know where they are coming from. This is why I'm going into this. There are legal considerations in every business. So determining the legal structure of a business is very essential. Owners may need permits, registrations, licenses to operate legally. So if you just go and start your business without the legality structure backing you up, you might see that in a particular day, while you think you are flourishing, suddenly the powers that be will come and uproot you from your environment or seize your goods and say you can't sell here, you can't do this. This is an illegal business. So the legality of every business must be taken very seriously. Then 5, you have to choose a name. You must have a business name, and it must be a valuable asset, a valuable name to you. You can't choose a name. When we be looking at problems arising from distance, you will see that your name can give you a problem or it can help you to sell faster. If you say you want to honor your daddy's name, and now you use a name having almost 20 letters, 20 letters, and you are going to be calling Shogologo Bangoshi as a name, before your customers will be pronouncing that name when they want to mention, where did you buy this? They would have cut their tongue. So most people prefer to choose names that are short and effective. So we have to, choose names. That is branding. That is branding that will help us to stand out, make our businesses to stand out, whether the business is a small one or it's a multinational business. The name plays a vital role in our business setup. Having said some of these things that are very important in a business, now I want to ask, how many parts of business do you know? For me, I have stated here that there are 3 parts of business. 3 parts. And each of these parts has its strengths and weaknesses. And they can cause you to succeed or cause you to fail. Number 1 part is personality. There is no business that personality does not come to play. I'm going to get there. Let me just name the 3. And that personality is the leader. Number 2, or the big part of that number 2, is followers or customers. Followers or customers. So in every business, there are followers and there are customers. There are followers and there are customers. So though in business we talk more on customers, but then because there is leadership that may be involved in your business, I added the word followers. And the C part of that number 2, that is the 3, is the activities, policies, and practices that take place in the business. These are things that take place in the business. Now, let's look at these 3 a bit so that when we begin to look at the elements of challenges, we will know, yes, this is where it came from, because we are going to separate them into parts. So in business or workplace, personality attributes play so much importance or important role in determining businesses. When we talk of job performance, relationship with team or colleagues, and overall business or work environment, you know personality is involved. And as personality is involved, relationship is also involved. I'm not going to explain too much about this, though I've spoken about it some time ago. But when we will be looking at things tomorrow, I will revisit some of these. Understanding and identifying personality attributes and characteristics in business and workplace is essential for creating a positive and productive business and work environment. Somebody like Raymond Cattell defines personality as traits that predict an individual's behavior. Take note of the word behavior there, because when we talk of business, behavior is directly involved. And it is the behavior that can bring crisis or challenges, as the case may be. Personality is any person's collection of interrelated behavioral, cognitive, and emotional patterns that comprise a person's unique adjustment to life. Again, behavioral, cognitive, emotional, they are all action words. And they bring about the unique adjustment to that person, either the business owner or the workers or the customers. They are all involved in this behavior or behavioral adjustment to life and to the business. Personality is the totality of a person's internal and external build. It involves development in 3 parts, namely his spirit, the soul, and the body. If any part is lacking in development, that lack will also affect or limit the performance of the rest part of that personality or leader. What do I mean? Let's take for an instant a personality or a person who is lame, he can't walk. For the fact that he's lame, he is not actually handicapped, but is disabled from moving easily from place to place. And because of this distortion in mobility, he's not likely to do every kind of business he would have wanted to do. So he's curtailed, he has to be controlled by the situation, and that affects his self, it affects everything about him. Okay, take another instance of somebody who is not well read. You know, when the person is not well read, the person's spoken language will limit his or her performance level. He cannot write books as the learned person will write. He cannot speak in conferences as the other person will speak. And this situation can equally limit a particular business, especially where communication is involved. So, where a part of that personality is not properly developed, it is likely to affect the rest part of the body. I'm therefore saying here that personality development must be in total. It must affect the totality of the person. You can't develop only the spirit side of the personality and leave the soul. The soul, you have the cognitive, you have the emotions, you have the choice, that is willingness. You have to develop all these. They are very key. They are important. They are very essential to other in our leadership roles or even in our followership roles. So he must have positive and sound, ethical and progressive relationship to be a personality that will run an effective business. A business entity is not necessarily separate from the owner and the creditors. If in case the business runs into credits, they can hold the owner of the business, the person who started it, to pay any liability because it is him or herself that they know. Then let's go to the second one. I mentioned three things. I've talked about personality. The second one is followers and customers. I told you that as much as the personality who is going to be the business owner is very key, is very essential, is very important in any business. So also the followers and customers are important. Why are they important? Number one, they are equally personalities. They have the spirit, soul, and body like the owner of the business. So they play a key role because, like in the further, the presentations I made before, I've talked about the importance. I said there are two people in this world. One is the leader, and the other is a follower. You are either a leader or a follower at a given context. So if you are a leader in the context of a particular business, you also need the followers or customers in that same context to move the business forward. You alone cannot produce, and you alone will sell, and you alone will buy. It's not possible. So you need the followers and you need the customers. The followers can likely be your work team, and that is why we're also using the word workplace. They can be your work team. They can be your sub leaders. If it is a big business setup, you run departments. You can't do it alone. So you put people there, followers that will also be leaders in their little department. And then you have the customers who, without them, you cannot run your business because they are the buyers and they are also the sellers. So we are going to talk about the followers and the problems or challenges that can arise from their end. But let us know that you, as the owner, you must be interested in your followers and customers because their interests and expectations make your business to thrive or to fail. Their interests and expectations. By the time we look into this tomorrow, you will see that it is very important for you to recognize the interest of your followers and your customers and their expectations from you. If you say, I don't care about them, if you don't buy, another person will buy. Okay. By the time this A does not buy and goes away, very soon B will know what will also make him not to buy, and he will walk away. By the time they start walking away like that, before you know it, you have no customers or no workers to carry on with your business. What is facing you there? Failure, disappointment, frustration in that business. So you must also look at some external things that might influence your customers. We will talk more about that, like inflation, even access to credit facilities. These are some things that can affect a business. And if they are not well handled, they can bring down the business. Even decline in standard of your product. That is very common. Common. Look at most things we buy in the market. They've depreciated so badly. Milk, whether tin or a sachet, they will reduce and reduce and reduce, and it's like you are buying an empty sachet of milk. The quality will reduce and the quantity will reduce. People are noticing. You may think people are not noticing. They are noticing these changes. And if care is not handled, they can create a big challenge to your business. Because before your eyes will wise up, something bad would have taken place. And sometimes too, because of the economic recession here and there, the economic situation most countries are facing, there is this problem of flow of supply of supply chain being disrupted. And when there is disruption of supply chain, you may not have all the ingredients you need, all the production things you need for your goods. Your services might even not be needed because many people are folding up. So you just have to also look at all these things. Now, we will talk more about that, so I would like to move on to other things. What is the third part of that number? I said 3 things are involved in the business. Number 1 is the personality. Number 2, we are talking of the customers, as well as your team, your followers, your workers. So now we are going to the third one, which is the product or the activities, your policies, and everything that takes place, the activities that take place in the business setup. There are many. Products are many, activities are many. And yeah, I decided to take what Wikipedia has also put in groups. We have agricultural setup, and then we have domesticated fish, animals, livestock, and so many. I won't be able to finish all of them. I will rush over that. But there are many because each sector has vested interest. Each sector of business has vested interest from 2 angles. The angle of the personality that want to establish a business in that sector, and the angle of the followers as well as the customers. So we have financial services. And when we talk of financial services, we have the banks, we have firms, credit union, credit cards, insurances, and so on. They are all there. We have transportation business, and we have the railways, we have the airlines, and then the shipping companies. They are all there. And even the road transport, the individual transports, and all these people, they take fees. Then we have even utilities, where they produce water, electricity, waste management. There are so many, so many, so many. So you see that as many as these areas of businesses are, so we have the challenges that go with them. As many, there is hardly any sector of it where you don't have challenges. Are you talking of sports? The organization of sports has its own peculiar challenges. Like as our last speaker said, crisis arises from all these areas, even industrial, where manufacturers meet and produce things. Jealousies are there, infighting are there. So we are going to talk about that, but I want to round up this talk today by discussing some challenges, general challenges of businesses. Some of these challenges. Tomorrow we shall be looking at how critical thinking, creative thinking, and the rest thinking skills can be used to overcome these challenges in our businesses. Number one, I have negative or limited mindset. I decided to put this as my number one because our mindsets are really hampering us. They are undoing us in many ways. If we have the wrong mindset, for instance, I want to make so much profit. And because of that mindset, you reduce the standard of your products so that you can have enough profit to yourself. Today you buy one car, tomorrow you change the car and buy another one. You have a car for yourself, for your wife, you have another one for your children, and just like that. That mindset is likely going to make you misbehave greatly in your business. So the customer's interest, the people's interest will not be taken care of. Sorry, I don't intend to really bring solutions today. That will be the work of tomorrow. But let me just say, the negative mindset, or those mindsets that will not help to build your business, they are limiting and they are dangerous to any business. Their skills and knowledge limitation as a result of lack of proper exposure to learning environments such as conferences, workshops, seminars, ICT training and platforms, and various learning platforms, even like this Y.Y.C.I. Even on a day I'm not presenting, I listen to every talk because in every presentation, there's something to learn. So there are people that don't care. They just feel, oh, they've set up a product or a services and, they are good in doing it. If you stop learning about that product, because the times are changing, the society is changing per day. And if you stop learning and being abreast with the modern trend of the society, your business will crumble suddenly. You will be patting yourself that you are in business, but suddenly, we've had several stories of people who were in good business, who were millionaires and billionaires. But come to see them today, they are nothing to write home about. Some of them are even beggars now. Why? They didn't brace up to the modern trend. Things are changing. Knowledge is dynamic. So you can't say, oh, I know it yesterday, and you remain there forever. No. You just have to move with the dynamism of the globe. The world is moving. Move with the world. People are beginning to see new ways of doing things, new ways of producing, new ways of services. So if you remain in your archaic way, you will one day see that the express has left you behind. So you go for conferences, you go, those are solutions we will give tomorrow. C, building brand and advertisement. Work on it. I for one, I had this problem at the beginning, being unable to advertise my products. And I tell you, it affected me. And I've learned my lesson. So you have to build your brand. We'll be having lectures, presentations on branding. Even today, it's still coming up. Please pay attention to him and learn. And when you learn, you will see that as you apply these things into your business, they will grow your business better than what it was. Then also take note of market competition, just like that man who asked the question talked about. There is market competition. You are not the only person who has that product. There is another person and another person and another person. But you know, I like learning from the Igbos when it comes to marketing. The Igbos can have, all of them can be in their different shades, in their shops, selling the same thing, but they know how to sell their products. They don't need to fight. They know how. When a customer is coming, this one will say, come to my own. The other one is say, come, I have a better one. I jealous the way they do their trading. No fighting. Though there may be little ill feeling, but they've learned to accommodate one another. And that is a very good aspect of these people in Nigeria and anywhere else they go to. That is why they can move very fast into any country, because they have this nice ability of doing their trading. So don't, there is competition. That is why you must embrace standards, and you must apply critical thinking in your products and services. If you don't apply that, and then creative thinking, you will remain in one spot and others are moving on. So when customers come and they see the new thing that has been added to a particular product, like our sister mentioned in her product of that cream, she has to add. I do that myself. I don't like that I remain where I was taught. No, I add my own. I have my thinking faculty. So I must add to it to make my own distinct. So people want to add something to their own to make it look different from your own. Don't be jealous. Go and add. Go and think. Go and be creative. Those are part of the solutions. Then cash flow. We know what cash flow is in business. If there is no buying and selling taking place effectively, there won't be cash flow. Maybe you are buying, and after producing, the products are not good enough and people are not buying. So cash is not flowing in, but it's flowing out. You are likely to go bankrupt and you are likely to fail. Then financial management, it's just like the cash flow. You don't know how to manage your money. You say, oh, I made a big sale today. You want to go and buy a new car. Or you want to move from your 3-bedroom flat to a duplex, and you start paying heavy money. Or you want to take a better office complex, and it's so exorbitant to pay the rent. You are not managing your finances. You are likely to run into problems there. Recruitment, let me rush through to round up. Your recruitment exercise, you just have to follow a standard process. If you can't do it all, you can get people, hire people to help you do the recruitment. Training employers is very essential. It's part of it. Where you don't train employers, you know, they will only remain at what they know. But if you send them to conferences, to training platforms, your seminars, workshops, they will know beyond what they know and what you know, because they will be taught the modern trend of doing things, creative ways of thinking. Then discrimination, the man said it, himself and the sister, they were discriminated against. What should he do? When you are discriminated against, it means something good is happening in your business. Because if they don't see something superior in your product, they will not discriminate against you. That is your fellow business people. Because your customers will not discriminate when your product is enticing. So continue like as you were told. Continue in your good work. Continue building standard into your business. As you continue building this standard, those who are discriminated will be copying you. They will be learning from you. Don't get discouraged. Continue. Then expansion. You know, business is supposed to expand, but don't expand beyond your cash flow. If you are expanding anyhow because you feel customers are coming, you just keep buying things and producing and producing. What if tomorrow they discover that there is a better one and they abandon your own? What will you do with them? Then the inflation of the economy. Things are being inflated. It affects businesses. How do we go about that? Tomorrow we will learn more about these things. Then many uncertainties, what you don't know, anything can happen. It can be heavy downpour of rain, and you are into a business that does not like water. What will you do? Then government interventions. You know, the government is the alpha and omega of every business. They can tell you run it or don't run it. So you must keep and abide to government policies so that your businesses are not endangered. You must keep to regulatory bodies and comply with their regulations. I want to stop here today, and I don't think I need to go back. It is a long one, but if you forget everything, don't forget business. The word business is to do something for a living that will give you money for a living. But there are two types of businesses, the profit and non-profit. The profit is that you are selling, you are producing and selling, giving out goods to make a living, to get money. The non-profit is that you are doing it to build lives. Not that you don't need money, but you are not concerned about the money. That is not your priority. So those who love what you are doing can sponsor what you are doing. They can give you. That is how you make your money. And then we said that there are three areas of business. We have the personality that cannot be overlooked. That is why you must develop your personality every day. And there are three basic areas of the personality that must work together, each complementing the other one, which are the spirit, soul, and body. The spirit connects with God, your maker, who gives you ideas and gives you spiritual backup. The soul has to do with more of your earthly, and it's a connection between the spiritual and your earthly. And there you have the cognitive, the willpower to choose, and the emotions to feel. And then you have the body, where we have the head, the toe, the this, and all the body parts. And we've talked a lot to even mention some of the problems that can arise from these sectors. So, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stop here. My prof, thank you very much.
Ambassador Professor Dr. Mercy Ogbe. I need to clap for you.
Thank you,
you've
Prof.
done very well with this. You've really prepared for these studies. For this topic, and we really appreciate you. Now you have prepared our mindset. You are preparing us to be more thirsty to come back tomorrow to come and listen to your second and the part 2 of this particular topic. And we want to say thank you so much. You've done very well. I'm receiving response from here. This is bravo. Excellent presentation. That's from Ambassador Dr. Omotola Shoboale. And from Facebook, very interesting training. Thank you so much. From Inga from Georgia. We also have, yes, another one that's from Maiden. It says, this is exactly what is happening. I pray at the end of this video we share. So it's an interesting topic and you've really delivered very well. So I want to say thank you so much. And also thank you for our first speaker as well, Dr. Ambassador Omotola Shobowale. Thank you for waiting around to listen to Professor Mercy. Right. I want to seize this opportunity. Let me just check my audience. Thank you so much, Tinko from Facebook. Inga, thank you so much. Maiden, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, Floxy, Wilson, thank you so much for joining us. And then earlier on, we have Timothy Obalola, thank you so much. Tamara, thank you so much for joining us. Isaiah, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate your time of learning and also contributing as well. Please remember to ask your questions. It's very important. On me here at this platform, I want to say thank you so much, Ambassador Magic, for joining us. Thank you so much, Ambassador Sopoale. Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Cameron. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Ambassador Bola Tito. I haven't seen Auntie Bola Tito. Right? Oh, yes. Ambassador Bola Tito said that's so explicit. Unique, explicit. Thank you so much for joining us and also commenting. Please feel free to comment on this platform today. It's very important. That is it. I think Ambassador Ambassador Motola Shibale said that is personal branding. That's good. Dr. Suprata said great section. Thank you so much. Right. Now, I want to appreciate Dr. Samina just joining us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Dr. Steven, thank you so much. And Ambassador Adesoji Talabi, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, it's question time. Anybody has a question or comment, please? Let's do it quickly. We still have another section, very powerful section coming up next, as well as the one we just listened to so far. So please ask your questions now. Any questions? Dr. Samina, okay.
Yeah, a wonderful presentation. It's a pleasing presentation, I think so. And now I want some cognitive solutions or cognitive. Tell us something about cognitive mindset. I think it's related to psychology.
Okay, cognitive mindset.
Prof. Cognitive.
Okay. All right.
Cognitive.
Cognitive or coordinative? Which one?
It's cognitive. C-O. Yes.
Okay, yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, over to you,
Cognitive.
Ambassador Mercy Ogbe.
Okay, thank you very much. The word cognitive has to do with our brain. It has to do with knowledge. What we know is cognitive. How the brain processes information, how the brain processes the knowledge we gain, whether when we go to school or we are in our houses, what people are telling us, we are able to discuss with people intelligently because of our cognitive abilities. So when we talk of cognitive, cognition has to do with understanding. Cognition has to do with understanding. How you understand what the other person is saying, how you can decode or encode information. So when you talk of cognitive mindset, those beliefs, those values, those things you hold dear that influence, maybe the things you have been taught in your place of worship or in your school or in your family that has they sank into your mind, and so you hold dear to those teachings and form a mindset that this is what it must always be. You now work on assumption because of that mindset. So you can challenge anybody who is doing the alternative thing because you don't believe in it. So it affects your beliefs, it affects your behavior because of your beliefs. So when we talk of cognition, it has to do with your understanding of everything around you, your communication, what you hear, the knowledge, and what people tell you, what you are saying to others, how you are able to encode and decode and analyze issues. It all comes from the mind, the brain. Thank you. Let me stop here before I go into another lecture.
Okay, that's right. Thank you so much for answering that question. Thank you so much, Dr. Samina, for asking that question, and also thank
Thank
you,
you
But
so
is she
much.
all
Professor
right? Is she
Mercy.
okay? Is
Is
she
she?
okay,
Are
Prof?
you
Yeah,
Yes.
it's good.
satisfied? Wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful,
it's good. Wonderful.
wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Dr. Stephen Cameron? Dr. Stephen Cameron, Ambassador Adesoji Talabi. I believe every one of us, we are satisfied with the teaching and you're looking forward to the next section. So I want to use this opportunity on behalf of Y.Y.C.I International to express our gratitude to Ambassador Professor Dr. Mercy O. Ogbe. Thank you so much, Ma, for your great, excellent presentation this morning or this afternoon. We appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you, and I hope you will stay around and still open your camera if it's possible. And any
It
other
is.
thing.
It's a mistake. It's a
That's
mistake. I was
thank you
trying to
so
snap.
much. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
I will
fine.
stay,
That's fine.
please. Yeah.
Well, you can still, if you want to stand up and stretch yourself, you have allowed,
Yes.
and drink
Thank
water
you.
before you, because I know it's a great job to be speaking. It's a great job to
Yes.
be speaking for an almost 1 hour. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
for
now
permitting
we
me.